Good morning or good afternoon. I guess depends when you see this. Lowcountry students, my name is Eric. I spoke to you guys quite a few times last year for your chapel services, and they asked me if I could do this virtual this year. So here I am. I'm the executive director of Teach My People, and I'm sitting here at my office at the Hammock Shops for Teach My People. And I just want to share a few thoughts with you. But knowing it's virtual, I know your attention span is probably not that great being virtual, so I'm going to make it very short. And so I want to do three quick things today. And I got my notes over here, so if you see me looking this way, that's why. But I want to share a story with you, one Bible verse from the Old Testament with you, and then just one thought. Especially as you guys have started school and are starting that journey for the fall. I thought hopefully this will kind of connect with where you guys are at and what's going on. But the story goes like this, and it's a real story. When I was 6 years old, I was living in Rochester, New York. I think it was like 1980 or 1981. Yeah, I'm old, 46 years old. But I was living in Rochester, and me and my buddies would go fishing almost every afternoon, and the fishing pond was about a quarter mile, maybe a half mile from my house. But we were in this really nice subdivision, and so it was kind of safe. So my mom and all the kids' moms would let them walk about a half mile to this fishing pond, and so we walked there, and it was right behind our subdivision. And while we were there, there was a man across the pond. And that man across the pond started kind of walking towards us. And we as little six-year-olds, first graders, got scared. So we started walking away from the man, and then he started chasing us. True story. And so we were running as fast as we can with our little first grade legs away from this man who was chasing us. But in the mix of it all, I got so scared that I missed the path. Instead of running along the path, I run down this embankment, and I run into like the marsh, and there was all these tall weeds, and so I got stuck in the marsh and I couldn't move. And so what I did was I creeped down inside the marsh and hid while the man ran across me, ran across the path, and he didn't see me. But my heart was beating so hard, I thought for sure that he could hear me. You ever go hide and seek, play hide and seek, and you think your friends can hear your heartbeat because you're so scared? Well, that was what it was like. And so I was scared, I was nervous, and so I ended up hanging out and being stuck in the marsh for like 35 to 45 minutes, just scared. And my friends actually made it away from the guy. They made it back home, got their mothers, called the police, and the police picked the guy up. And like I said, I was stuck in the marsh. So like 45 minutes later, I come out of the marsh, freezing cold, and I finally made it to my house. But my mom was all scared. She had called my dad because they couldn't find me because I was stuck in the marsh. But looking back, that was probably, out of 46 years of my life, that was the most scared I had ever been. And I hope to never be that scared again of just the unknown. What if this guy catches me? Didn't know what he was going to do. Didn't know if he was going to murder us all. But it was a scary time. And I just remember that fear, not just in my head, but in my body and in my heart. And that fear. And I never want to feel that again. And so that whole idea of fear and being anxious and being scared brings me to a verse found in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah is like dead center in the Bible. It's Old Testament, but it's right dead center. And it's God speaking to his people, Israel, which is a Jewish nation. And he says this, Isaiah 41:10. He says, "So do not fear, for I am with you." So God says to his people, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteousness and my righteous hand." And so God's words to his people is this: don't fear, for I'm with you. And that's not something uncommon for God to say, because if you read chapter or books earlier, like in the book of Joshua, he tells the Jewish people, he says, hey, don't be discouraged, don't be dismayed, don't be fearful, for I am with you. And then if you go to the New Testament in the book of John, I think it's John 16:33 or something like that, he says, hey, in this world you're going to have trouble, but don't be afraid, for I am with you, and I have overcome the world. So from the beginning of the Bible to the end of the Bible, God constantly tells his people, the people who are following him, the people who know him, the people who are connected to him, he constantly tells them, don't be afraid, because I am with you. So like I said, I have a story about me being 6 years old. I have a verse, Isaiah. God saying, don't be afraid because I'm with you. And so I'm going to leave you with this thought. We are in a weird time. You probably have heard this word so many times over the past 6 months, but unprecedented. We are in an unprecedented time. Life is different. The way we did the end of school last year is different. The way our summer was, it was different. Some of you guys had to be quarantined for a while just so you could stay away from other people so you wouldn't get sick. Life is different. And the way we started school is different. And some of that differentness causes fear and causes anxiety. And one of the big reasons why we have fear and anxiety is because none of us have ever lived through this. So in the past, when you were scared of something, or in the past when you were, sorry, my phone just messed up. In the past, when you were afraid or scared of something, you could look to an adult. You can look to someone who might be a little bit older than you, and you say, hey, how do I handle this? And he's like, well, they can talk about their life and how they've handled it. But the reality is none of us have been through this, which brings anxiety and brings fear. So I wanted to share this with you. There's one person who has walked through everything in life and has been okay. And that person is God. He says, do not fear, I am with you. You see, life is changing, we're changing, the world is changing, but the one thing that has not changed is God. Not only has God said, don't be afraid, I'm with you, but throughout the entire Old Testament and New Testament, God has said, I am the same yesterday and the same today and the same forever. In this world of craziness and chaos and just things different, the one thing that's not different is God. And that's why we don't have to fear, even during this chaotic, crazy, different world. And so I want to challenge you. Like I said, I have one thought. So my one thought has these 3 quick challenges. First challenge is this. If you don't want to have fear and you want to trust God in this, the first challenge is this. Be open about your fear. Be open about what you're scared about. Because you're going to find a lot of people are in your shoes, and it's going to give you comfort that you're kind of all working through this together. I have 6 kids, and I have, out of those 6 kids, 3 of them are teenagers. Actually, four, because one just had a birthday this summer. So 4 are teenagers, and I got sideways with one of my teenagers this past week, and I was really frustrated with them. I'm not gonna say it's a girl or a boy because you'll figure out who it is, but I was very frustrated with them, and I was so angry and so upset, and I'm like, no one else is going through what I'm going through with my teenager. And then, because you guys are hard, I'm just going to tell you that right now. Middle school, high school, you guys are hard sometimes and tough to figure out. And I'm just going to be honest, because I was a hard middle school, high school kid too. But I sat down with a person today, and they were sharing their story about what happened with their child. And it was the exact same story that was going on with my child. And I felt really good. I was like, hey, we're both in the same situation. We're both dealing with the same thing. And it kind of made me feel a little better that I'm not the only person out there going through this. And so my challenge for you is, you're finding some anxiety and fear right now with everything going on. Share that. Share that with your close friends. Share that with your mom and dad, because you're going to find some comfort that we're all in the same boat together. Number 2, in that thought of fear and trusting God, is I'm going to challenge you. Start leaning into God a little bit more. There's a lot of things uncertain out there, but the one thing that's not uncertain is God. So I'm going to start challenging you. If you know God, lean in a little stronger during these times. If you don't know God, start questioning. Say, is he really there? And he'll make himself known. And then last thing for the challenge is this. I just challenge you to start looking to others who are doing this God thing pretty good. When I love to surf, and so I find myself on YouTube constantly watching John Florence surf, or Luke Gordon surf, and our local boy, or watching Kelly Slater surf, and I watch what they do. When I get in the water, I don't do it like they do it, but I try to get close. I try to imitate. And so this God thing, same thing. Look at those who are doing this God thing pretty well. Like, they seem like they have a good relationship with God and Jesus, and figure out how they're doing it and why they're doing it, and get close to them, because it'll rub off on you. One of my favorite verses is, he who walks with the wise will grow wise. In other words, you hang out with some people who loving Jesus and loving God in a good way, it'll rub off on you as you hang out with them also. And so as you're finding fear and anxiety during this school year, be open about it, talk about it, lean into God a little bit stronger, and then look at those who are doing it right and connect with them, because they can be a great example for you. But my prayer is that I can actually be face-to-face with you guys soon and encourage you and pray for you. But just let you know that you are in my prayers now, and I'll consistently pray for you guys, and looking forward to you connecting with you guys face-to-face in the near future. God bless, and talk to you guys soon.